So, I wanted to talk to you guys today about how we take all this awesome information that we wrote in our Jot Notes page and turn it into these big, beautiful, juicy paragraphs like we did for our artist report. Okay, so today I'm going to be writing my diet paragraph for my moon jelly. So, just a reminder that my animal is the moon jelly. You can choose any ocean animal you want. And I'm going to be talking about the facts about the moon jelly's diet. Okay, so let's talk about this hamburger paragraph that we used for our artist report. So remember, the top of our paragraph, or that first sentence, is called a topic sentence. Okay, and in that topic sentence, we are going to introduce what we're talking about. But remember, it's just a piece of bread, right? It's not a ton of information. It's just kind of a bun sentence. We're also going to end our paragraph with a bun sentence, right? So it's not a lot of information, but it holds the rest of our hamburger together. Okay, so let's go ahead and write our first bun sentence, or our topic sentence. Now remember, this paragraph is all about the diet, right? So I'm going to say what I'm talking about. So the moon jelly. And this entire paragraph is going to be focused on the moon jelly's diet, or what it eats. Okay, so I can say the moon jelly has a interesting diet. Now, when we write our second bun sentence, right, or our conclusion sentence, we want to also write something that doesn't have a lot of information, but tells us what this paragraph is about. Another way I like to think of it is I'm just going to take my topic sentence and put it into different words, or reword it. Okay, so for my topic sentence, I said the moon jelly has an interesting diet. So for my conclusion sentence, let's find some new words to say the same thing. Okay, so this time I'm going to say the moon jelly eats many different things. Okay, those two sentences basically say the same exact thing, right? The moon jelly has an interesting diet, and the moon jelly eats many different things, right? Those mean the same thing, but I put them in different words. Awesome, you guys. Now let's go to the meat and lettuce and tomatoes of our hamburger, right? That's the really important stuff to a hamburger. Nobody gets a hamburger just to eat the bun. Okay, so when we write our sentences in the middle, we have to make sure that they are really meaty and that they have a lot of detail to them. But guess what? That's why you took all of these notes on your notes page. Okay, so we're going to change these facts into our sentences. Okay, so my first fun fact here that I have under diet is the moon jelly's tentacles are covered with specialized stinging cells that they use to hunt their prey. Okay, so I'm going to put that here as my first sentence. Okay, so that's my first meaty sentence in my paragraph. Let's go to my next meaty sentence. Jellyfish digest their food very quickly. Awesome. And then finally, my third supporting sentence, my last meaty sentence. They eat on fish, shrimp, crabs, and tiny plants. Okay. So that's all it takes to make one paragraph or a draft for my animal report. Now, the next day, it says I have to make a final copy. Now, there's a few things you have to do when you're making a final copy. And the first thing you have to do is edit. Okay, so let's go through some of my sentences and see what we can edit. That means we're going to make sure we have capital letters. That means we're going to make sure everything's spelled correctly. And we're going to make sure that we have punctuation, so periods and exclamation marks, maybe a question mark. Okay, so let's look at my first sentence. The moon jelly has an interesting diet. Okay, it looks like I have a capital letter at the beginning of my sentence. I think everything is spelled correctly, and I have a period at the end of my sentence, so that one looks good. Let's take a look at the next sentence. The moon jelly's tentacles are covered with specialized stinging cells that they use to hunt their prey. Okay, so I don't have a capital letter at the beginning of my sentence, so that's the first thing I'm going to edit or fix. Okay, so now I have a capital letter. I'm going to look through, maybe ask an older sibling or an adult to make sure everything is spelled correctly. I think everything's spelled right, but I don't have a period at the end of my sentence. So I have to make sure that I edit my sentence and add that period. Okay, awesome. That second sentence looks good now. Let's try the third sentence. Jellyfish digest their food very quickly. Okay, so this time I've got a capital letter at the beginning. Everything looks like it's spelled correctly, but I don't really remember what this word digest means. And is it very helpful to have a report with words that we don't know what it means? Not really, right? We have to understand all of the things that we're writing about. So I have a couple options here. I can either change this word or I can explain it later. Okay, so I could either make it say jellyfish eat their food very quickly. Okay, that's one way I could fix this sentence. Or I could add to digest means to eat. Okay, so I can add some explanation. Awesome, I see that I have 2 periods at the end of my sentences. Let's go to the next one. I see a capital letter for they. They eat on fish, shrimp, crabs, and tiny plants. Well, I need to add my period to the end of my sentence. I also notice I need to add a comma right here. Okay, that looks good to me. Let's check our last one. The moon jelly eats many different things. Okay, that sounds like a good bun sentence to me. All right, so now I would write all of my sentences onto my final draft paper in my very best handwriting. So third graders, that means you're going to try your cursive out. Second and first graders, that means your very best beautiful print. All right, I know you guys can do this. Keep trying hard.